everybody for being here. Lots of people. What we're going to do today is talk about the Virtual MPhil project. It's obviously not a traditional research seminar as such, it is about the project. We'd like to make it as much as possible into a discussion. And what we'd like to do is to explain what we're trying to do, but also how you can perhaps benefit from what we are doing and how you can get involved. Project team, well, you know, it's the three of us. Leon and I will share the presentation and we'll try to do some demo with Maria as our virtual buddy. Okay, so let's start. I'll give really a short presentation on what we mean by this Virtual MPhil and how we sort of set it up. We try, as I said, to make it very, very practical. We have some FAQs because of questions which we've been asked, which we are collecting, and of course we'll have a discussion. But please feel free to interrupt any time. Okay, some of you have already seen this slide or some early version of this. This is sort of a summary of what our Virtual MPhil is. It is a part-time MPhil, Master of Philosophy, at a distance. Of course, the university already has one. So why is it different? Well, there are perhaps two things which distinguish our project from the traditional one. The first is that we're trying to organize the students around research theme, and by that I don't necessarily mean the thematic within the department, but smaller groups or more focused groups. And so the idea is that as well as having the usual relationship between students and supervisor, you also have a small community, a community of peers with whom you interact. And the second characteristic is that we try to do everything or as much as possible online. So with the exception of the final viva, which will be residential as the traditional one, everything else we will try to do through technology. Okay. So because of that, we've made a big investment in the technology, and we'll show you quite a bit of that today. So we have a really large virtual learning environment. But really what we're trying to do overall is give a sort of coherent support to part-time students in a way which is quite comparable to what our residential full-timers get. There is quite a bit of sense of isolation at the moment for our part-time students. There are lots of initiatives that are trying to involve them a little more. Some are already going on. This is part of that sort of movement. And of course, you know, we have put together some ideas. We try to put an infrastructure which is useful to us as a community, but we like very much you to drive it. And so to tell us what works, what doesn't, and how we should change it. Okay, this is computing. This is a sort of architecture. It's a layer thing. We are also obviously building on top of what we already have. It is a Master of Philosophy and MPhil. There is already one. There are regulations which are not changing. So the regulation established by the university are exactly the same. And of course, there is already some support which the university provides through the research schools in terms of website, in terms of inductions, in terms of training. Most of these tend to be residential. Okay? On top of that, the second layer is what computing does. Computing stroke CRC does. So we know that we have special practices within computing. Most of the people here are supervisors, so you probably know. There are all the activities that Marion drives within computing, so there is some support that we do on top of the sort of basic infrastructure by the university. On top of that, we are building some practices which relate primarily to the fact that we are doing things online. And so there's quite a bit of training or practices, good practices that we need to learn about, to discover, and to implement. Now, on top of that is what the research team, these groups of academics and students coming together will do. And while the first three layers are our competence as a team, we provide infrastructure and all the relation to, you know, the other part of the university. What is done within the group is very much driven by the academics, their supervisor, and their students. Okay? That's a sort of idea. So we have sort of three main roles really. There is the team, the Virtual MPhil team, which, as I said, provide all the governance, the regulations, the interface with various parts in the department, in the faculty, and the university. And then there is what the academics do within their little community. We've appointed a team coordinator per group, just to have a reference point for us. And within this team, there will be a group of academics working together, okay, and driving whatever they do with their students in this framework that we have provided. So what are the teams at the moment? There's a list, and that's a list of the nominated coordinators. As you can see, there are lots of question marks in the sense that I know the coordinators are, but I don't know who they're talking to at the moment. Of course, I know who I'm going to work with, John. But for instance, I have no idea who Darren's going to work with. He hasn't told me yet. Same for Simon. I hope we'll talk to Robin, for instance, but I don't know if he's done it already. So, as I said, you know, we just step back when it comes to the group of supervisors. They operate quite independently as long as they don't break on any of the rules, and we provide the support. Okay? The interesting things in this list, we have a new entry from Jeff Johnson from design. And this is because the original vision for this MPhil was to have something very generic, an infrastructure in which people can just plug in their own research interests, whether it is within computing or across the faculty or in the university. And this is sort of proof of concept. Jeff came to us a week ago saying, oh, I want to master in complexity science, but it's too expensive to do it the university way, what can I do here? And the day after, he had a master in complexity science and was really excited about it. And he already had a team and a big international network, so he could just plug in, you know, its stuff within this wider infrastructure. So that would be an interesting case study to follow up and see how it works. So, as I said earlier on, we're going to focus more on the infrastructure, what we provided, what you guys can actually engage with from now, really, if you want to. This is sort of a summary of the type of technology we have. We have lots. The reason why we have lots is that one, there is a lot out there to be used, and two, none of it, or singularly, will provide all the support you need. And also, people have a really different attitude to technologies, so some like using certain tools, some like using others. What we're trying to do is give a sort of coherent blend and then allow people to sort of pick and mix what suits them, okay? But we have to try it all. Okay, so what we do, we have a sort of traditional synchronous, which we'll show you in a moment. Some synchronous technology with Skype, most of you already use it, but there's also Illuminate, and we'll show you Illuminate. And we try something a little more adventurous with immersive technology using Second Life. And if we have a little time, we might just do a little of that too. Okay, so let's get on with the demo.